Hi, I'm Dale Allen. This is the interview series from the first ever Women's Village at the Parliament of the World's Religions. I set up an interview suite, and there I interviewed 71 women who all spoke from their hearts about their love in action. The heart of women around the world truly beats as one. The first interview I'm going to share with you is Brecia Kralovic-Logan, and I chose Brecia because when you watch these interviews, behind most of the women is a beautiful woven piece of art. And that is an international art project that Brecia is behind. The Women's Village was defined by the embrace of these woven tapestries that went around the entire perimeter of the Women's Village. They created such a sense of safety, peace, community, connection. It was incredibly powerful. So it's my delight to introduce to you Brecia Kralovic-Logan.
So creativity really is my practice. I find my source in creativity, which is essentially the divine working through us to manifest everything. Something doesn't exist, and then we bring it into our minds and our hearts and our hands, and then we create it, and that's God, right? That's the divine. I'm a textile artist, and 6 years ago I was given my marching orders, to use Pat Farrow's term, to amplify, to promote, to support women's powerful voices through a project called the Women's Woven Voices Project. I invited women to reflect on themselves, and they could use writing to reflect, and I provided some prompts. I wanted them to think about what made them a really strong woman, a whole woman, what brought them joy, who supports them, and then what challenges have they faced, because we all have our challenges, and what strengths did they bring to those challenges. And then in just doing that, I was hoping to just help tap in, to that inner strength and maybe awaken some reclaiming of their power, because we're busy people going around doing the things, this, and this, and going down the list of things to do. And I just wanted them to take a moment to stop and think, wow, I am a strong woman. And therefore, they have the courage to use their voice. The second part of the project was I asked them to weave a story cloth. And this is really rooted in my belief that, creativity and creating, connecting the mind, the heart, and the hands, and actually physically and very kinesthetically in the world. So actually creating an art piece that represents their story, whatever they wanted to say, whatever they wanted to include, what they wanted to express, with what colors and with the yarn. And I knew that archetypal experience of creating a piece of cloth, which we're so far removed from in our modern world, which used to be a daily chore for women. It also used to be a requirement, to just survive. And now they got to practice this archetypal weaving and interweaving of threads that's so metaphorical. The feedback that I got from women was that so much intuitive wisdom bubbled up, memories were reframed, there was a sense of healing, a sense of transformation, a sense of recognition and reclamation, and that was what my hope was that they would have that experience. And then over the last 5 years, I did workshops with women who were veterans from the military. I did workshops with refugee moms from Iran, Iraq, Syria, Afghanistan, workshops with teens who were at risk for sex trafficking, workshops with university students during Sexual Assault Awareness Week. So the mission, I'm going to say the mission because I like that word, really was to promote in the world what I wanted to see, right? So creativity, community, and compassion, which I just think are the divine feminine, in 3 words. And I wanted to promote that as antidote to gender inequity, abuse, and violence that women experience all over the world. So these things exist, and how do we find our strong voice to promote open communication, fierce listening, collaboration, partnership instead of domination? So, so all of the things that we need to do to shift from that abusive relationships that exist with not only women, but, human beings and the planet. Let's dig down and find the courage to use our voice to promote creative, compassionate action, essentially. So that has been my honor and my privilege to answer that call and to steward this project. So my goal was to involve 1,000 women from around the globe. And Dale, that was, just so that you know, where I was in my life, that was like going to the moon. It just really seems like a big, big, big thing. It was a big, big, big thing for me. And I just appreciate all of the people who, just completely supported me in taking my steps in my journey, to accept that this can happen. So workshops and sharing and the tapestry. So, as each one of these woven story cloths were completed, I was stitching them together into a tapestry. And I envisioned and I journaled and I visualized this 1,000 stories, this piece of artwork that would have impact when people came up and walked up to a wall of color and just the power of women's stories stitched together. I just can't tell you my heart right now. So here we are in the Women's Village at the Parliament 2023, and there are about 1,030 woven story cloths surrounding the village, woven by participants from 10 different countries, and that was all just a pebble in the pond. First it was me, my daughters, my sisters, my aunt, my cousin, and then my friends, and then these workshops, and then more and more, and then collaborations. So I collaborated with the Charter for Compassion and did workshops with them, collaborated with many, many different church organizations, collaborated with the Girl Scouts, with community organizations, with the Veterans Network in San Diego, and then finally I collaborated with a group of senior communities in California called Front Porch, 10 different senior communities, and in the end, 700 women who are either in independent, assisted living, or memory care communities, who are all crones, wove their stories, met weekly, shared their stories, and reflected back to me the beautiful power that it had in their lives. And oh my gosh, golly. Yes. The Women's Woven Voices Tapestry now includes over 1,000 woven story cloths by participants from 10 different countries around the world, all over the United States, Australia, Afghanistan, Bulgaria, Canada, Germany, North Ireland, Iran, Iraq, Syria, Afghanistan. It's so beautiful. And so, ever since there was 5 pieces that I could stitch together, this tapestry has been going out into communities. So it first went to a conference on sex trafficking in California. It went to Nevada for an art conference to share with people there. It went to the Commission on the Status of Women and Girls in San Diego. It went to universities. It went to the Veterans Museum in San Diego. It's been in several different galleries and museums. It's popped up in community activities. It's been in Carpinteria, and it's been to Tennessee. We drove it across country to Tennessee last year, and then again we drove from California to Chicago to share the tapestry here at the Parliament.